There's a issue with humanity that I've always had an issue with, actually. Maybe I'm generalizing, but I noticed that a lot of people maybe don't know how much we are communal animals. We are animals. We forget that a lot of the time because we're building technology and doing all these amazing things. We can think critically, there's no other animal that can really do that like we can. And as we forget what's happening in the world, we tend to follow a lot of what society, your family, your community, all these people are saying or doing. If the majority is doing it, you would probably do it. I know I have. But for majority of my life, I always asked why. I was that annoying kid asking why are we doing this, why are we doing that. And everyone was going right. I was going left because I was like, this makes no sense to me. And I've met a few people on that path as well who are zigging while everyone is zagging type of thing. It's a difficult life to live. The majority of people are told, at least when I was growing up, I think this is going to change in the coming years, but we were told to go to college, get a degree, and that we'll definitely have a job after. And over the last few years, that has not been the case. You have to do a lot after college to get a job. You have to be a little bit lucky. You have to start during the right economic environment. And when you do get your first job, you're not going to get paid enough to move out of your parents' house. Either that or you're going to live with like 8 roommates, depending on which city you're in. Most of the jobs are in the city. So, if you live in rural America, good luck. You'll definitely be stuck in a basic job. And some people enjoy that. Some people want to do that and they don't want to live in the city and they don't want to have the big tech job and all this stuff. And a lot of what we have created in current society comes from the fact that we have all these educated people in positions of power and things like that. And although we view them as really smart, I think smart has been a term that hasn't been used correctly. Everyone's smart in their own particular way. And a lot of what's been created, while some things work, a lot of things don't. I mean, we're humans. We make mistakes as you go. You learn as you go. No one has all the answers. That's something I learned recently. Like, I don't care what level, who you are, you don't have all the answers. This is why when you create a company, you need a team of people. It's hard to do a company of one. You'll hit a ceiling because you're just one person. How are you going to get perspective to shift, to try something different so that you can grow? Same thing applies to life and your own personal growth. How are you supposed to know when's your next level of growth without others providing you feedback, right? Friends, family, and some feedback may not be warranted. But I always say, if you hear consistencies and a lot of people are saying similar things, maybe you should listen. And a lot of us don't do that. We tend to just, okay, yeah, sure, okay. And it's terrible because yeah, some of those people get successful, but what are the issues that they deal with? That's why I always say I'm unfortunately not the person to look at all the good in someone. I am the person to look for all the bad. Now there's some pros and cons to that, especially after COVID. Obviously, not growing up with a father figure, it gave me a rebellious attitude to ask why, to really give it to the man and just give them a problem, not just roll over. And a part of me has had to do that at work, previous jobs, and even this one that I'm working now. It's just like, I want to do things my way, and I hate the fact that I have to ask. I just want to do it. Sometimes I do. I've gotten in trouble for it in the past. Because it's like, that's not how we do it. Let's do it. That's why we have always done it. That's why it works. And to me, it's just like, you're so close-minded. I think the world has gotten to a ceiling, has gotten to a wall. And we cannot move over that until we start thinking differently, until we start doing things differently. For instance, I don't have a bachelor's degree. I have a college degree, but not a bachelor's degree. I got close but dropped out beforehand because of circumstances. And I didn't want to be in crazy debt. And I think the future is moving more towards that way, where college degrees will be less likely. Education is gonna look different, especially with the rise of AI and technologies. It's like, I learned through college that as you're learning whatever you're learning, because of the rise of the internet, time you get out of college, it's useless. There's very few reasons to go to college. Obviously, being a lawyer, being a doctor, things like that really matter in society. And even then, you still have to learn after you get out. And the fact that we have to deal with a bunch of people are stuck in the way of thinking and they're not always looking at things differently, which is why, excuse me, which is why I implore people like yourself watching this right now to zig while everyone else is zagging. Try things differently. If you notice everyone's doing the same thing, what issues can you find? Pull those out. Ask questions. Why do you do it that way? Why have you been doing it that way? What's working? What's not working about doing it that way? Have you tried XYZ? Whatever ideas you get, utilize them. Whether that's work, life, family, all kinds of ways. If something's not working, switch it up. I always say if you're trying something, try it for a few weeks. And then if it's not working, you move on to something else. If it's working, you continue. I've done that with this YouTube channel. It has probably changed like 3 times. I like to experiment. I like to try different things constantly. I have ADHD, so I can't do something one way for too long. But I implore you to do that. What are your thoughts about that? Do you zig while everyone else is zagging? Have you tried things differently? Are you following the masses? What's that look like to you? Comment below. Let's start a conversation. And until tomorrow.